Welcome to another Comox Valley Horticultural Society virtual open garden tour. Today we're at the home of Pamela and Douglas Rogers in Black Creek. We have a couple of acreage, and they've owned it for over 20 years, but they've really only developed it garden-wise in the last 5 years. And today we're going to hear the story of that development. And apparently Pamela is the primary gardener here. Douglas does his pond, which we will hear about. And Pamela, would you like to tell us your story?
Well, I've always had Asian-looking gardens wherever I've lived, and we bought this property 22 years ago with that intent. But because of our work, we were working all summers and didn't get to do the garden. We did some of the bones of it, but nothing major. And then about five or 6 years ago, we put, I started with this little garden here that you're seeing, and this was I wanted it protected, the deer couldn't get into it. And then my husband said, well, gee, I really would like to have a pond, but this is too small an area for me to put a pond in. So I said, sure, okay, well, you could put one on the outside of the fence. So that's what we did, and I'll show the next segment. I'll show you what that turned into.
And we're on our way to the pond, but before we get there, we're going to find out about when all this was grass and a lot more trees.
Yeah, well, we took out a couple of trees, mainly because it was too crowded, and then we started with the gravel and the ferns and rhodos, and I also put in, just this year, I've been wanting flower boxes all my life, and finally this year I finally got my flower boxes, and I'm thrilled to have them.
They're beautiful.
They're wonderful on the outside, but they're just as nice on the inside when you're looking out.
I'm sure,
I just love them.
Yeah. And do you find the birds get in there and pick through for bugs?
Not yet, no, but this is relatively new, so we'll see.
We'll see, yes.
I always keep feeding the birds out in the back anyway, so they don't seem to bother up here.
Okay, and I notice you've got a vegetable garden over here.
I do. Which I have nothing of consequence growing in. I'm using it as a nursery because it really doesn't get enough sun. It's sunny right now, but you can see there's trees all around it, so it doesn't get much more than 4 or 5 hours max of. I can grow a few things, but not enough to make it interesting for me.
Mm-hmm. So you said you wanted an Oriental or
an Asian feel to it.
An Asian feel. So you're looking for, stones, rhododendrons, what sort of things make it Asian? Well,
rhodos for sure, and of course the trees, the Japanese maples for sure. We've got peonies coming up eventually, and they're going to do really well. We have some statuary, the rocks, placement of rocks. There's a pagoda over here in the background, and all of that gives that Asian look and feel to it. Even the way I designed this fence to have the fence around the small garden has an Asian look to it.
Yeah, with the tops on there. Or the pergolas, or whatever they call them.
Right.
So, yes.
So it's a quasi-Asian. I mean, I wanted it to be in a natural sense. I didn't want it to be really structured. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be relaxed.
Yeah, not a formal
but to have
Asian,
that feel to it.
A relaxed West Coast Asian.
That's right.
Canadian West Coast
That's
Asian.
Right.
Well, why don't we walk over here and look at your pagoda? That looks,
okay. So this is a little rock garden area that I put in last year, just for a little touch of color in the garden. Since so much of it is just green on green on green, I thought that this would be a nice bit of color. And
I love it with the contrasting rocks and your gnarly evergreens back there. That's beautiful. A splash of color, as you say.
Yeah, bringing in the rocks was an experience as well. We had to have a big tractor come in here, and of course that meant redoing the lawn afterward.
Of course.
So one thing leads to another, but I think the rocks really add a dimension to it, to the whole garden.
They do.
I've got 1, 2, 3 peonies.
Peonies, yeah, and some heather blooming right now.
Yeah, it's just about
a couple of heathers, yeah. And what's this thing? I recognize it, but
I don't know.
okay.
I've forgotten.
Nice variegated leaf. That's,
You know what I've started to do, which I find really helpful? I got a photograph book with this little, that you slide little 4x6,
Yes.
and I put, just recently I've been doing this. Every time I buy a plant, I stick the little information on it in that, so that I can go back and see what these things are.
Yes.
That I didn't do it for, so I don't know what it is.
This looks like a kiwi. I think that's a kiwi.
Aren't these beautiful?
Yeah.
Love these things.
Oh, those cedars or those.
Aren't they? I just did. I never saw them in California. They're absolutely gorgeous here.
Yeah. Oh, the nice color.
And the nice difference in the colors. This is one of those smoke bushes. I know that's not the technical name, but and it smoked like crazy last year. I hope it does the same thing. Of course, it's a blossom on it, but it does look like smoke coming out of it.
It does, yeah. Walking to the bridge.
Here's my wonderful Japanese maple tree that took off for me.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
And this is the pond. They're making babies too.
And here we have Douglas's pond. And what a pond. And how big is it now?
It's about 50,000 gallons.
Wow.
And as I said, my husband said he wanted to have a pond. And the next thing I know, the tractors show up and they're digging out this pond. And I said, a pond is a pond, but you're building Lake Tahoe for us, And sure enough, it's about 8 feet deep at the deepest. It goes to about 5 feet. And of course, there's a rim all around it to hold plants and so forth. You've got We've got about 70 koi, and we love the waterfall. We love the sound that it makes, and I thought it was way too big. Doug said every time he read about ponds, people said they were sorry they didn't make them bigger. So we don't have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
But we love it now. I'm not sorry that we have it now that we've got it.
Yes. No, ponds are just amazing things. I know our little pond, we're closer to the city, so we get more traffic noise, but it's sure nice to just relax by the pond, and it drowns everything out, and it adds to the ambiance of your beautiful garden. It's just wonderful.
Well, we put a bridge across it. That was part of the design. That was actually, that was my insistence, and everybody thought it was a good idea, and I think it's really I'm amazed how much I have to use it to go back and forth.
I think a pond this big, you really do need a bridge, because otherwise you're
absolutely
going around the edges. So it's
just, 2 years ago we put in the what we call our tea house, And it's just a place to sit and admire the pond.
Yeah,
I do a
absolutely.
little artwork in there.
Excellent.
Do my rocks that
Do
you
you
got some
painting the
pictures of.
rocks?
Painting
Yes.
the rocks.
Yes. Well, this is gorgeous, and you know, I see your little Asian accents with your
The lanterns.
lanterns and your herons there. I mean, they sort of look Asian, and
Yes, they do.
your cut leaf maples here, beautiful, beautiful, and the rhodos. I love the splash of colors from the rhodos. Now, are you, apart from your flower garden that you showed us over here, do you have any other color that comes out around the pond
Well,
other times during the summer?
we have a lot of iris
Okay.
that come out, and that's the major other color that comes out is the iris. They're beautiful blue, and they're huge bushes of them, so that we've got
Nice.
many feet of them. And
Nice.
it looks like they spread. I don't really understand how they. Look like my
The pond plants will bloom too.
pond plants will bloom, and of course we've got the water lilies
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
They're not anywhere near ready to bloom yet.
Yeah.
And the floating pond plants spread fast.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And they're necessary.
Multiply.
They bring oxygen into the water and help keep it clear.
Mm-hmm. Clear. Okay. Yeah. Good. Well, he's just going to pan slowly while we look at the food. We're drinking all the.
Yeah, they do. And in the wintertime, you don't have to drink them or anything. They're all to the bottom. It's warmer there.
Yep.
And as the bottom.
And then we've got some. Yes.
But we have none.
We could always say liberate them somewhere. No, I know.
I've thought of it over by the pagoda.
Nice. They would look nice there. They're beautiful in spring.
I know, I love them, but they're not a very pretty tree otherwise.
No.
That's
they're not.
that's the other problem. There's a hawthorn I wouldn't mind having either. I think they're beautiful.
We have our So Pamela, thank you very much for inviting us out here to have a look at your property, and it's a beautiful property. It's gorgeous. We love what you've done to it, and congratulations. It's just a beauty.
Thank you. I really enjoy sharing this. You know, sometimes I think we should. You know, it's kind of a shame that it's just us, my husband and I, that enjoy it 99% of the time. So it's lovely to be able to share this with a lot more people. Thank you very much for asking me to, or allowing me to do this. It's been fun.
Great. Well, thank you. And you can look at it online. And when COVID's over, maybe we'll have a real garden tour out here. So if you'd like. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you.